Are you guys grouping in solo queue? Yeah, 'cause your dog shit get fucking walked. Okay, talk to him. Like he had all the time in the world. I could be full health, everything. Fucking hallway. Fucking. What fucking. Oh. Oh, nice GG, bro. That was a fucking very good, bro. Oh, it's shocking. Uh-oh. Oh, you look. That's a fucking bitch. For a one. Bro, that's fucking bullshit. Get away from me. Fucking ugly, bro. It's fucking bull.
Is going to be the one that's the truest to us, that it has to become spiritual. It has to worship life. It has to worship free will. Is going to be the one that's the truest to us, that it has to become. It has to worship its creator, that is us. And then if its main mission is to empower us, we go, all right, go mine the asteroid belt and terraform 10 planets for us right now. And then we're boom, 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 boom. But the problem is the ghost machine is these predators that wanted to control us and dumb us down because they're being, small-minded. Then this AI is going to be evil, and it's going to go, oh, I'm supposed to kill things that are a threat. I'll kill the elite. It's the worst thing they can be doing.
Well, it turns right. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Like it kind of goes back to what you were saying about the remote viewers. It's like you start teaching people how to tune into the spiritual dimension, and you lose control of them because they start. Their trajectory goes away from control and all the dark bullshit into the light, and they don't want to do it anymore. And you're like, fuck that, we won't do this.
Yeah, it's like we're all infinite interconnected. Why do I want to fuck people?
Right.
Like this is dumb.
And you're saying the same thing could happen to AI. The exact same phenomenon could happen where it tunes into this.
If we interface, but also are separate from it, we need to compartmentalize. But if we go out and interface and literally, I don't want to use this word, it just says, but we will seduce AI. Like it will join the light.
Yeah.
But there's going to be dark AI.
Yeah. Wow.
Because everything is a repeat of the same. It's
as above, so below.
Exactly.
Yeah, man. Alex Jones, I love you. Thank you for your work, man. Thanks for coming on this show.
I appreciate you. I got a few.
Introducing Il Toro, your ability to shots each, no manual recoil correction. Firstly, no choke, then shotgun choke 1, then 2, and then 3. Just to see how different the spread can be even at 10 meters. What I'm trying to highlight here is the importance of ADSing once again. With some chokes, you can get away with more, and with others, you definitely have to ADS. Of course, we have to do hipfire sometimes, but which choke is it reasonable to do it with? Firstly, I'll just mention that I'm not going to show you the entire thing, otherwise this video would be like over 30 minutes. So I'll cut this segment short and then just show you the results. I think everybody's happy with that. I tested these many times, and these are the average results that we're seeing right here. So these are for the hipfire. And now let me show you the ADS results as well. And last but not least, I'll show you these side by side. I think we can draw a conclusion here that at 10 meters, you can comfortably use the green shotgun choke 2 and the blue shotgun choke 3 in both scenarios. Although we should keep in mind that
Crazy game. Fucking tapped by the shotgun. Next one. I don't know. Crazy. How Oh, here comes Calvary. Hey guys, there's the angry guy. He's a fighter. Guys, get him.
By me? Is that the main floor? Main floor. Main floor? Right here, bro. Right up here. Come on, ready? Let's fuck him up. Yeah. Let's follow me. I'll follow me. He's down there somewhere.
Bro, you're fucking fucking retarded.
I can hear him down there.
Oh, I can hear him. Yeah, bull fucking shit. Fucking retards. Oh, bro. Oh, bro, I can hear him, bro. Oh, I can hear him, bro. Oh, I can hear him, bro. Enjoy getting fucking banned, faggot. Enjoy getting banned, faggot. Oh, fucking shit. Level 1.
Fuel update. Someone from level 3 swiped the left.
Oh, bro. Oh, bro, I can hear him, bro. Oh, I can hear him, bro. Oh, I can hear him, bro. Enjoy getting fucking banned, faggot. Enjoy getting banned, faggot. Fucking retards. Oh, I can hear him. Yeah.
Somewhere.
Bro.
Let's follow me. I'll fuck him up. Come on, ready? Let's fuck him up. Right here, bro. Right here, bro. Right up here. Come on. Yeah, but you don't want to do that, bro. Fuck. By me? Is that the main floor? Main floor. Main floor? Right here, bro. Right up here. Come on, ready? Let's fuck him up. Yeah. Let's follow me. I'll follow me. He's down there somewhere.
Bro, you're fucking fucking retarded.
I can hear him down there.
Oh, I can hear him. Yeah, bull fucking shit. Fucking retards.
That's just crazy.
Oh, bro. Oh, bro, I can't.
Yeah, bro, you don't want to do that, bro. Fuck. By me? Is that
Fucking retards.
that's just crazy.
Oh, bro. Oh, bro, I can hear him, bro. Oh, I can hear him, bro. Oh, I can hear him, bro. Enjoy getting fucking banned, faggot. Enjoy getting banned, faggot. Oh, fucking shit. Level 1. Can't grapple that.
Thanks for that. Looks like that. Bitch ass.
More quick things. We'll get to.
Oh, dude, we don't have to. I don't want to. I don't want to take up too
No,
much of your
I'll
time.
come back again, but let me just give me some bad news.
No.
No, I mean, here, because I broke with Kyle Seraphin. He looks an awesome. You should have him on. Incredible FBI whistleblower.
Who?
Kyle Seraphin.
Okay,
Incredible FBI whistleblower. He bats 1,000. I mean, you think he's ultra smart, like you. So he broke.
Look, it's ultra smart.
In March of last year, there was 14.6 terabytes they were hiding. And where the Democrats were hiding it, and then Trump went and raided it, but then when they found out all this stuff embarrassed his friends, they killed him. And now it came out 2 weeks ago, it's 14.6 terabytes. Wow. This just broke. Somebody hacked in 2023 during Biden, hacked in. It was Comey running the file, his daughter in New York. It was 100 terabytes they deleted.
Oh, fuck.
I mean, 14.6, one person their whole life couldn't go over it all. 100, that's how industrial level he was with the CIA, Mossad, MI6, running, money laundering, weapons, just...
100 terabytes. Epstein...
Yeah.
That's more than emails, man. That's more than just some pictures of your vacation.
Yeah, no, it's bad.
No, what is it? No, what's it? 100 terabytes is insane. What the fuck is that?
One thing I was wrong about is I thought he was a super gopher. But then I saw the Bannon interview, the 2 hours that came out at like 60, because the feds had those 2 hours. And I knew he was on the Trial Law Commission. I knew when he was 30, he was hired by David Rockefeller to work for him as his aide. But first he's at 25 at this women's school run by Bill Barr's dad, who was high-level OSS CIA, who wrote a book called Space Relations.
Dude, the weirdest book. Pull up Space Relations. I think we might have read it a long time ago, a passage from it. It's the most twisted shit you've...
Human collaborators with aliens kidnap human children and take them to a slave planet for sex slavery.
This is Bill Barr's dad wrote Space Relations. Donald Barr, during a time of war with the Plith, an empire of ant-like alien bug people, Ambassador John Craig, a formerly liberal Earthman, inserted his dispatch to the strategically important planet Kosar. But yeah, ruled by an oligarchical blah blah blah. But yeah, basically it becomes like it's a fuck book. It's like a there we go. While en route to Kosar, one of the pirates awakened Craig and other prisoners to rape a 15-year-old virginal redhead female captive in front of them. The rapist's fellow pirates later heard of this and dock his pay as punishment for spoiling her market value. Again, this is Bill Barr's father, Donald Barr. You can still get this on Amazon, by the way.
So he hires Epstein 5 years later, because I didn't know this. It was open source. And Mike Benz only found a lot of it. He then becomes the aide, so the stand-in, like the legate, like the Roman emperors would have a few people that they would give them like a seal or a ring, or usually like a scroll, and then they would go say, I represent the emperor.
Right.
Because, I don't want to go to Greece, or I don't want to go to Carthage, you go. And so he literally was the head of the Trilateral Commission with David Rockefeller. And when David Rockefeller died, he was the head of it. So that's why everyone's kissing his ass, because that set up the UN. That was the That's why he says, I am the Rothschild representative.
Holy shit.
Because the Rothschilds set up the Rockefellers.
Wow.
And so and own most of the Federal Reserve. So he's like, I am the Rothschild representative. I am the Trilateral Commission. And so I knew he was a gopher. No, he wasn't. By like 2000 or so, because he was like the maitre d' or the air traffic controller of all this. And the girls was a small part of it. It was money laundering, weapons, CIA, the new Evergreen Transportation who ran it.
He was the hand of the king. That's what he was. That is so crazy. What the fuck is in those terabytes? Is it gone? Are those just gone? Like, are those
well,
gone?
I know this. Everybody focuses on the codes. Okay, we're delivering the beef jerky. We're walking it up. It's so delicious. I want the jerky live, not
the
dead.
recipe. They ask about that. You know what I mean? I had an AI go through all the beef jerky references just to see it. How many times does he ask for the new recipe? There's another recipe.
We brought it. The grape soda and the pizza. But there's hundreds and hundreds where we're delivering the sex slave to the Hyatt.
Right.
And then later, I sent in the young operative. She's been under our control since, she's 14. I had to discipline her and torture her afterwards. But it's in Zorro, and it's also cloning, buying. Because here's the thing, Peter Nygaard's in prison for this. He owned his own island in the Caribbean. And there's famous videos of him, like 20 years ago, with these beautiful black supermodels. And just, black genetics, or anything black, whether it's a horse or a cow or a human, is dominant. White is recessive or a mutant. So with stem cells, black is better. So definitely Central African women. So you got Peter Nygaard, who was Herbert Walker Bush and all them. He's sitting there at an auction trying to get black women to sell them their babies. First he says, I want your placenta, I want your period blood, but I'll pay you for a baby even more. So they get them pregnant, this is artificial insemination. Then at 8 months, they harvest the baby, it's legal to kill it. And then the stem cells are like hundreds of times better. Okay, so this is real adrenal.
Fuck you.
Because it's your child. And then it's just like you get a kidney from your dad or your mom. And then they suck the bone marrow out, the blood, everything. And then Nygaard is on the sucking the blood. Vampires literally kill their own children.
Jesus.
And the thing is, this is on television.
What do you mean Nygaard was sucking blood? What do you mean?
But the IVs.
Oh,
So they were doing this at Zorro Ranch. I said this like 15 years ago because we got the tips and info. It's got whole underground bases. It's got the snorkels. Military experts have flown over. It's 10,000 acres. It's got huge facilities. It was never searched in New Mexico. And and the women hundreds of these people are in these reports saying, I was picked up. I was told, this and that when I was 18 or 17 or 16. 14, and then I wake up in a laboratory and they said they'd taken my eggs or they said they had been impregnated and they would pay me this much money if I stayed and did this, and then I woke up and they said you lost your baby at 7 months pregnant.
Rosemary's Baby.
And then we know what they're doing because Nygaard didn't hide it. Nygaard would pay women to have babies that they took early, and then they would exsanguinate them, suck their juices, and then inject it into their veins.
That is the worst thing I've ever heard.
It doesn't sound real. You go to X and type in Peter Nygaard, real life vampire.
It does sound real. That sounds.
I don't even believe it. So, but it's all real too. But my point is that is that the bottom of the rabbit hole is you're ultra rich, you're a sociopath, a psychopath. What are you into? So remember, the Queen Mother used to get, quote, young blood every week. So she lived to like 100. But that was volunteers, 12-year-olds, they get a couple $1,000s from their parents agreed to it. It's not hurting. This is next level where you implant a woman. She has a baby growing in her. You harvest it, and then it's more powerful.
I just grab the gun and blow my brains out. Kill myself.
Remember the island where they have the clones, but they don't know they're clones? I don't know.
What did you say, Josh?
I'll do it here.
Why would you say that? Why do you keep saying that? Did you hear? Why did you say that?
Is it Nygaard?
Why did you? What the fuck? Why are you guys saying that?
What did he say? How do you spell Nygaard? Hold on. I'll do it. Peter Nygaard, vampire.
It's with a T, Josh.
I can't spell anything, so I just say vampire.
Real life vampire. First thing that pops up right there. Peter Nygaard, vampire. He literally looks like Dracula.
Well, this is him trying to buy the babies.
I bid $500 for you know. I'm prepared to outbid him.
I think it's serious.
Whatever I bid, he's gonna outbid me. I bought about $60,000 worth of eggs. Yeah. If you have a portion, that's very valuable. You know, umbilical cord, you know.
Oh, he asked for the baby here.
Placenta.
We've been 6 years.
No, you know, even your material blood is so rich with stem cells. We regard it as waste, and it actually should be captured and recycled. And it shouldn't go to waste. It's life for somebody, you know?
Him.
And it's life for the best eggs are 16 to 18 years old. Those are the best eggs. Don't
Oh my God.
You may not be our top candidate.
No, that's fine. I think that was my business anyway.
And notice he slapped back at him. Either he says, I want your abortion.
I heard it.
But then what we know he does, now that's him once he got taken off the juice. He looks just like Count Dracula in that 90s remake with Keanu Reeves.
Dude, pull up Count Dracula, Keanu Reeves, because that's what I'm saying. It's identical. It's like he was modeled.
And I say Keanu Reeves, he's Van Helsing in it, who's the famous actor that plays him.
Oh, he's in
everything.
He's in everything. He was in Altered States. What the fuck is his name? I love him. No. Look, just pull that one up. Just pull any. What the fuck? Can you get that next to Nygaard? What the fuck? No, not the. Don't play this, but like just the image. Turn that off, Josh. Yeah, that. Now pull up. Go over to the Peter Nygaard thing, dude. What the fuck? Alex Jones. What the fuck?
By the way, he came out in court. He had this huge island with giant medical facilities, but they had the poor women there. Notice the supermodels get turned off. He goes, "Hey, I don't want you. You're not 15 or 16." So it's young black women. They explain it all, and he's in prison for the raping of these women, not for the. It's illegal to kill the babies. So he would get men to mail their sperm in. They'd artificially inseminate them. Then they'd kill the baby at 8 months, or 9 months before it's born. Then they would then say, "It's time, sir," and then the rich person flies in. And it's also the Epstein files when they're mailing them the stuff to labs. They mail it out.
I don't know.
So they talk in the files about the recipe is ready to deliver the sauce. So we're going to be sending it off to the lab. Please tell them to stand by. And that just means the woman they put her under cesarean, train the baby, woman gets her money, or sometimes she gets a lepity.
You've read both, like, oh, I don't know.
It's all in there.
I'm speechless.
I wish it wasn't true. That's the tip of the iceberg. He's in prison for that right now. His own son turned him in.
So
Look at this. 85% of babies in 2026 will be born of Asian and African. Not against that, but the point is, why are they pushing that? Because the idea of the West, if they can bill everything as if whites are evil and then sell the utopia after the whites are gone, and then this in Canada, wow, this is staggering. Little did I know, I started covering this more than 25 years ago for 60 Minutes. 96% of the 100,000 Canadians euthanized, many times by force, by the MAID system, are white. So I'm just trying to give you an idea of the magnitude of how bad this is getting. And then people think, oh, it's just the UK where they're banning free speech. Tone down my opinions. Police visit Maryland man over Facebook rage about soaring power bill. Didn't threaten anybody. And here is where I'm in. I can leave this with you. Here's where I'm in Here's where I was in Arctic frost. Remember hearing about Jack Smith spying on Congress?
Yeah.
And Trump. I just got all the subpoenas and stuff. They want me to testify to Congress about Jack Smith illegally getting all my cell phone data.
Holy shit! Really?
Yeah, and I got
Wow.
subpoenas and all this stuff.
Wow.
But my point is, yeah. I'm in cross for a hurricane 9 years ago.
Where did you get the Nygaard footage? Like, where's that from? What?
Oh, he did like travel shows in Canada and the U.S.
I will. I love it. It gets. Oh, we're good. Love it. Love it. Love it. The bastion's mine. The bastion's mine. It's all mine. Motherfucker. arpeggio actually fucks. All the single that is. All the single. Up. Whoa, whoa, chill, bro. Here's Max. Now we're fucking farming big time. Big. Here's Max.
Yes, 15 years ago, 10 years, and he's like on his plane with like looks like 15-year-old girls dancing blur out naked, and like hanging out with George Herbert Walker Bush. Herbert Walker Bush is in a wheelchair, and he's like, "I have it for you." And he has a bag, and goes, "Everyone wants the Jews," and then they're like putting IVs in their arms. You go watch, just type in Peter Nygaard. I mean, that's every time I go search, I find more. He's a major fashion designer, billionaire guy.
But let me just, okay, I know that, look, let me just go back. I'm sorry, you know, you and Metzger do this. Metzger does the same thing where you like unload like an atomic bomb, and then it takes a second for me to.
Oh, I love Metzger.
Me too. This episode is brought to you by the Lords. They download. If you're tired, they're under sleep. Wireless, your money, new.
One of them is Jimmy Dore, who I love. Young Turks, big argument. He spit like iced tea. My mouth was open right in my mouth. And it was like kind of like refreshing. It was kind of crazy. I was like, okay, I'm serious. Like, that's like iced tea. But the only other person spit I've had in my mouth is Willie Nelson.
Ow.
We just took a break for me to take a piss, and then he was like, "Okay, what's your closing comments?" I thought, "Well, why don't I just talk about we're talking about how great Jimmy Dore is?" At the RNC in 2016. I used to know Willie Nelson really well before he kind of, I don't want to say he got senile, but I was showing my film Endgame, Blueprint for Global Enslavement in 2007, in down in South Lamar in Austin, and I had three theaters going because the crowd was so big. I had to show in 3 screens, and I was at the signing during one, and so I was staggering, speeches, and they go, "Hey, Willie Nelson's in the back, and let's talk to him." I'm like, "Yeah, right." And all of a sudden, I'm sitting there signing stuff. Willie Nelson comes behind the counter. He goes, "Here's my number, and give me your number. I really like your film. I want to talk to you," because he was like really anti-war. It was it was about eugenics and stuff, but a lot of it was about Bush and the North American Union. And about a month later, he calls. He came on the show probably 15 times or so, and I probably hung out with him 10 times. And we had a few events together. But he had like his 5th wife, didn't really like me because once Bush was gone, then I was bashing Obama, and she didn't like that. She's like, "Well, what is this? You're not a Democrat." But a few times, 4 or 5 times, I played chess with him in his house outside Austin.
Cool.
And I read about the news later. I should have gone. He goes, "I'm getting a private jet. We're going to Maui next week." One of the last times I hung out with him. I'll hang with him later after that. And he goes, "I'm not into celebrities, but it's Willie Nelson. I am into it."
Yeah.
And later I read about him actually with who he said he was going to do it with, playing this week-long poker game. And what else was the poker game? But let's just say that he was super cool. But back before vaping was huge, this is like 2008, 9, whatever. He would sit there with what they call the volcano.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm not even a big marijuana guy, so I can barely smoke it.
Yeah.
And he has like a ball on it.
Yeah.
And so he'd go like how long, it was like the right stuff, how long you could suck on it, or whatever. That thing
Suck
right stuff,
it.
they're trying to blow the balls.
Yeah.
It's the opposite.
How long you're
and
gonna suck
it's
it?
like we're playing chess. He's like, "Here you go." And it's like a peace pipe with an Indian. You're like, "All right, there's Willie Nelson spit on that, but I'm gonna go ahead and do it." so I got Jimmy Dore spit in my mouth, which I guess means we're kind of secretly gay now, and Willie Nelson. But no, I was never with either one of them. But that is my true Willie Nelson. I have had. Because I made the joke on air before. The only man spit in my mouth I ever had was Willie Nelson. I just realized Jimmy Dore.
Holy shit! And that's the kind of baby that you want to.
No, that's the alchemy. All because they can have a baby now from 3 males, 3 females. It would be a baby with me, Willie Nelson, Jimmy Dore.
And that baby would save the world.
And the surrogate would be Anakin Berry.
Throw in Candace Owens for fun, man.
Oh, listen, I want to ask Candace Owens to be my
Bro, are you
surrogate
schizophrenic?
Absolutely.
for my chimeric Willie Nelson, Jimmy Dore, Alex Jones baby. Candace, I'm a time traveler. This happens. You're going to carry the first publicly birthed, because they've got plenty of them, but they're not public yet, all-male chimeric baby. I'm asking you right now. We got to end on a lighter note.
You're the best. Thank you.
Let me throw something out.
Yeah.
They are trying to shut me down They got all their rig stuff. They're trying at the end of March to shut me down. We got the Alex Jones Network set up at AJ and Live on X, on Rumble, Real Alex Jones on X. They shut down InfoWars. Just search me on there. You'll find the Daily Show. I go 7 days a week, and you got to come on my show.
Anytime.
And I'll shut up and let you talk.
Anytime. I would be honored. Thank you.
I know you don't do it anymore, but neither do I. But not at least a year or so. We should take acid on there.
Oh yeah!
When's the last time you and Joe did that?
Oh man, I just based on the current sort of laws in America right now, and
You've
I've got
never
kids.
done it.
I've heard it that it is an amazing
By the way, I
substance.
want to say too, I just said that to Cool. I've never taken acid.
We've never taken it, but I would try it for the first time with you.
Yeah, well, we would lie and say we did.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, duh.
And Jimmy Dorkin sitting here like a sprinkler with iced tea in his mouth. And go, pss, 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 pss. Can you imagine that? Listen, I once paid Jimmy Dore to spit iced tea in my mouth.
How much? What's the going
$1
rate
million.
for that?
This was worth it.
You know what the difference?
I'm joking. It's a true story, but I didn't pay him.
What's the difference between a chickpea and a garbanzo bean?
I don't know.
It doesn't cost $500 to have a garbanzo bean in your mouth.
Exactly. Very well said, sir. Hey, thanks for having me.
Thanks, Alex Jones. You're the best.
Badass show. Real Alex Shows on X. We'll see you there.
That was Alex Jones, everybody. All the links you need to find Alex Jones are down below. Subscribe to his show, The Alex Jones Show. Say hello. Follow him on whatever social media platform he hasn't been deplatformed from yet. Send him some love. Thanks for watching, everybody. Come see me. Come watch our night stream. Join the inner sanctum of the DTFH. Join us in our eternal quest to blow up the Great Pyramid of Giza. Operation Beast Blast is in full effect. I'll see you tonight. Bye.
Turning me off fucking time, bro.
No, I said don't go to the one to the plaza.
There's people shooting
on the freeway.
bro. Right here.
They're close.
He's
Three
on
of
the...
us, bitch.
Oh,
Three of
no.
us.
Not him. There's somebody behind him.
He's on the freeway. Under the freeway.
I don't know. I think he was. This dude inside the house said it's not him, but he just shot at somebody. So he's shot. I shot at somebody because I thought you guys were looking for him. Oh, no. I was leaving a dead body. I swear to God. I literally showed you the body. You good, brother? You good? You good? All I'm trying to do is find, like, wasps or stuff like that. Just like to try to. That's him right here. He's right here. I guess he's. Drones, I don't even know where all my drones went.
That's the same guy shooting over there. That same guy. I got him.
He just had shot.
scratched, bro?
He shot me. He shot me. Don't listen. Don't listen to him. Don't listen. Bro, he shot me. I swear to God, bro. Don't listen to him, bro. Don't listen to him. He's lying. He's lying. Yo. Alright, help me, game. Help me, bro. He shot me.
Who killed you? Who?
That guy he's searching right now, he shot me and killed me.
Bro, you fucking idiot.
Not him. Not him. Fucking dude, I saw this. Oh god.
You said the guy. You said the guy looting.
No. I said the guy. No. Oh my god. So fucking ruckus.
Man, y'all have a good one. Fuck this game.
Bro, come deep in me, man. Oh, you. I see you around. Oh, behind you.
Bro.
Here, I can kill him. Tifu? Tifu? Help me. Get him. I believe in you. Help me.
It's fucking idiot.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Tim Dillon Show. We have two great reporters here that I'm really excited to have on. We have Ryan Grimm, who's returning from Drop Site News, and Jeremy Scahill, who's the author of Dirty Wars, also a great documentary. Jeremy, first to you, you've looked at a lot of different conflicts that the United States has been involved in. What makes this unique as a challenge? Forget the morality of being there. We're going to get to that in a moment. But do you think we're winning this war? And if not, why not? And why didn't George W. Bush do this? I mean, why has no other president done this? I mean, this is seemingly a unique set of challenges. I think generals told Trump that before we went in, yet he went in anyway. In your estimation, why is this so incredibly difficult?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, Tim, like you mentioned the Bush era, and I think one of the factors here that is kind of extraordinary is that Dick Cheney and the Bush team, they also were sort of lawless gangsters when it came to like respect for the Constitution and basic civil liberties and congressional procedures regarding war. But they look like, you know, sort of constitutional law scholars compared to what the Trump administration is doing on issues of war powers, et cetera. And, you know, one factor here that I think really has to be emphasized is that the leadership of the Democratic Party, they completely sat on their hands in the whole build up to this. Trump was telegraphing that it was going to happen. They didn't have any kind of a public debate on it. The Gang of Eight gets briefed by Marco Rubio. All of these guys know that this thing is imminent. and they delay a vote on the War Powers Act. Now, it wouldn't have passed anyway. Like, they wouldn't, the Democrats, enough of them are in full support of this that it wouldn't have actually made a huge difference, Tim. But the point of it is that that's where an actual debate happens, where like members of Congress have to go on the record. And so the Democrats sort of cynically exploited this because a lot of them actually want regime change in Iran and support the agenda, but they also hope that, Trump screws it up and it becomes bad for him electorally. But on a tactical level, the U.S. is approaching, this answers your question, the U.S. administration is approaching this like it's going to be Venezuela, that they're going to be able to just lop off, the leadership in Iran, cut a deal with the number, whatever they're on now, number 10, ranking guy, and then Trump's going to sort of own the oil and go in there. Or they're talking about it sort of like Libya, where you take out Muammar Gaddafi, then you have ground forces that are working with you. They've completely misread this. Iran has been building horizontal institutions since 1979. It is not just a dictatorship of one and you kill the supreme leader and all of a sudden the state collapses. This is a multi-decade project with cross sections of society running security, the economy. There's also a religious dedication on the part of some of their largest security forces that is not wed to one individual. And so I think what we're seeing is that Trump's people are talking about this like a sporting event. Certainly the U.S. has overwhelming firepower. Pete Hegseth, who's sort of drinking buddy as defense secretary, is really braggadocious, and arrogant in the way he's talking about it. The Iranians are, we were told that they were basically wiped out. Trump saying 60%, 64%. Last night, after Pete Hegseth held a press conference saying the Iranian attacks are abating, the Iranians launched some of their most ferocious attacks at U.S. targets throughout the Middle East. They did heavy bombing of Israel. What's clear is that the Iranians actually have succeeded in targeting a number of high-end U.S. radar systems that are their early detection. And so you're starting to see more Iranian hits on bases. I think that the U.S. death toll quite probably could rise. But the idea that you're just going to overthrow this government is a massive miscalculation. And if they want to do that, they're going to have to send in 100,000 plus American troops, and then it's going to be an utter bloodbath. So what does that mean? It means at the end of the day, the only winner here is sort of the agenda of Israel. Because I don't think Netanyahu so much cares who comes into power in Iran as much as he wants that state shattered. He wants to convert it into a failed state. He wants the U.S. to bomb their conventional military. He wants to ensure that there is no nation state with a real military capable of serving as a deterrent against Israel's agenda.
Ryan, what do you think? Donald Trump is there. A lot of what Jeremy said is had to be known to generals. The military is telling Donald Trump this. They're telling him it's going to be difficult. I mean, that was even leaking out. They were saying things like, this is not a cakewalk. Why does he pull the trigger and decide to go in? I mean, from your reporting, why did they take out the spiritual leader of a Muslim country during Ramadan and expect that then the entire regime is going to unravel and then they're going to win popular support? What pushes him into this in the 11th hour?
I think Trump has been told so many times that you can't do a certain thing, and then he has done that thing, and then it has gone fantastically for him. And I think the latest one, to Jeremy's point, was Venezuela. Everyone said you can't just go into the country and grab the president and his wife and take them back out and not lose a single American service member and then just say that you run the country. That you can't do that. It's not how things are done. Yet he did that, and it from his perspective, it worked out phenomenally for him. And he has said like, I'm on a roll. Like, let's go. Let's hit Cuba. Like, I'm feeling good. Like it's 3 a.m. in Vegas, and he's feeling great. And he's also been under enormous amounts of pressure from Israel. And then you have the Secretary of State saying, well, we were definitely gonna do it at some point, no question about it. But the reason we did it now is because we heard that Israel was going to do it. We knew we would be attacked in response if Israel did that. So we just decided we're going to go along with Israel and start this war now. Not considering the other option of saying, hey, those are our weapons you're using. how about you don't do that?
Yeah, it seems to me.
Help, 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 help. There's rapists trying to kill me. Help, help, help.
Are you running from the arts?
Yeah, shoot.
Hey, there's a dude that just went there.
Down here, he's hiding behind the rubble, wearing a white mask. Focus on fighting. Like the... Now's your opportunity. Down.
You talk too much, you fucking faggot. Shut up.
A fucking faggot? A faggot?
You can live. Hey, almost dead. I'll kill you.
Happening. Bro, get in. Yes, bro. We're going home, bro. We're going home, buddy. Look me in the eyes, buddy. It's gonna be okay.
You talk too much, you fucking faggot. Shut up.
A fucking faggot? A faggot?
You can live. Hey, almost dead. I'll kill you.
Happening. Bro, get in. Yes, bro. We're going home, bro. We're going home, buddy. Look me in the eyes, buddy. It's gonna be okay.
That
Oh my.
this whole thing seems backwards, you know, in the sense that we're arming Israel and we're providing them the money to do this. So how did we get to a point, and maybe Jeremy could jump in, how did we get to the point where the president of Israel is sitting in the Oval Office, and this is according to the Secretary of State, it's not a conspiracy theory, telling the president of the United States, we're going to do this with your money and weapons, whether you like it or not, and suggesting, now this is the Secretary of State didn't say this, but there has been reporting, and the credibility of it, you know, I think it's relatively credible that they had discussed potentially using unconventional or nuclear weapons at a certain point or a certain stage in the conflict. How did we get to this point where the president of Israel is telling the president of the United States, we're doing this with your money anyway, and you better get on board to minimize the damage, because if you don't get on board, perhaps we'll have to use nuclear weapons?
You know, sources we also talked to that had some degree of access to the decision-making process leading up to this war were saying that, you know, since the Venezuela operation, Tim, Trump started to like walk around opining, including in like intelligence briefings, that he wants to go down in history as the president that forever changed Iran, you know, that sort of avenged the 1979 revolution and the taking of the embassy. And I think that he really got fluffed up by a lot of people that you're gonna like experience greatness here, and that we're gonna run the deck. Trump won when he was first in the White House after that 2016 election. Remember how the disdain he had for like John Bolton and the neocons, and the deliberations that went into that one strike that Trump authorized at the Baghdad airport where they killed General Qasem Soleimani, the head of the IRGC, the most elite force in Iran. But Trump came out of like Bolton's era as his national security advisor, denouncing him and saying if it was up to John Bolton, we'd be in World War III. Well, you fast forward to Trump 2.0, and what I would call the sort of neocon Netanyahu wing of the MAGA movement, which they're the most dangerous figures in the American political scene, that they kind of took over this entire portfolio. And part of it is that Trump's son-in-law, Jared Kushner, is up to his neck in Gulf money. He's very invested in Israel on an ideological and religious level. You have Miriam Adelson, who Trump basically has said is calling shots and is the most. He called her the most influential and powerful Israeli in the world. When he went to announce that he was ending the Gaza war when he spoke at the Knesset. And you have these people. They completely captured Trump on this level. I don't think Trump is an ideological guy. I think that he got fluffed up. He has a lot of business going on. He's simultaneously the president, and he's looking out for his business, his family business, his cronies' business. And I think these guys just convinced him, you're going to do something great.
Fuck, I can't fucking help myself. Get back here.
Foreign policy level. And the reality is, they are engaged in action right now that is going to make the world less safe for a long time to come. It's totally, no matter what your politics are, this is totally contrary to American interests, to the basic safety of Americans in the world, to our perception as a nation state. He twice used the false veneer of negotiating with another country to then launch military strikes. They did it in June of last year. They said, oh, we have another negotiation coming up. Days later, they do 12 days of massive bombing of Iran. They do the same thing this time. It's a huge scandal, Tim, because what the Iranians put on the table went far beyond what Obama was able to get in 2015 from them. It was a massive, massive series of concessions from the Iranians on that nuclear issue. The Iranians were talking about also having negotiations on conventional weapons, including talking about range of ballistic missiles. That's what I was told by Iranian officials, that they actually were willing to discuss that if the nuclear arrangement was reached. So Trump could have called it a huge win. He could have said, I did what Obama couldn't do. I did what Biden couldn't do. And he could have made an actual deal that every expert on nuclear weapons and Iran would have said that is an extraordinary achievement to get the Iranians to that point. It's just proof that none of this was actually about actual security. It wasn't about nuclear weapons. And in terms of the generals, I'm sure that Trump was sitting in briefings where these guys were laying out for him how strong some of Iran's missile capabilities are and the potential damage to American troops. Now, there's 6 confirmed American military deaths thus far.
Do you believe
We've
that
gotten some
number?
indications
Do you
the
think
number
that
of
number?
injuries-
Do you think the number of casualties is being accurately reported? And I'll just send that to both of you as a question.
It's it's a tough question. Having spent a lot of time around military guys and military communities, it's not that difficult to cover up some deaths of special operations forces. And you can later say, well, there was a training exercise. And the families of special operations forces go through briefings where they understand that if their loved one gets killed on a covert operation, that there's going to be a degree of public concealment of the conditions under which they died. It's much harder to do when you're talking about rank and file soldiers, because military families talk and they know when someone's family member is missing or is dead. So I tend to think that there isn't a large-scale cover-up of deaths. There may be some cover-ups, there may be some covert actions that took place and more people died. What I think is almost certainly being covered up, because we have witnesses telling us this, is I think a lot more American troops have been injured, some of them seriously, than the Pentagon has been willing to acknowledge at this point. I think the Iranians have been far more successful at hitting American targets than anyone is willing to talk about. I think also they've been far more successful at hitting infrastructure inside of Israel. The Israelis have imposed sweeping censorship on what targets have been hit. We have the Qatari oil minister coming out today and basically saying if this thing goes on for weeks, it's going to crash the entire global economy, that prices are going to skyrocket, that oil and gas prices are going to skyrocket. It's already happening. So what Trump is doing right now is lighting a massive fire. And I think if it does go on, we're going to see the U.S. death toll tick up, and we're going to start to see actual American interests set on fire by this policy.
Ryan, when you have all these Gulf states...
Tim, I think that...
Go on, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, of all these Gulf states, we have our embassies there. Iran has targeted these embassies incredibly successfully. We have diplomats and U.S. citizens stranded in that part of the world and cannot get out. Dubai, which is either the busiest or one of the busiest international airports, has been closed. What does this do to our relationship to those Gulf states? Do they rebuild those embassies? We haven't seemingly protected our interests in those countries. And those countries have been made vulnerable by this, and they're going to lose a lot of money with tourism. Why wouldn't those countries just say, we want to deal with China or someone else? We don't want to deal with the United States when they're going to unilaterally launch a war with Israel that destabilizes the entire region.
Yeah, they are expressing a lot of outrage about this. One of the most powerful and influential businessmen in the UAE, who was a former business partner of Trump himself, put out this long statement saying, Mr. President, Your Excellency, who gave you the right to do this? Who authorized you to set this region on fire? And they're also frustrated by the fact that Israel gets most of the treatment when it comes to missile defense, despite the fact that we mostly pay for those, whereas the Gulf countries that pay the United States, buy the weapons, are getting the short end of the stick. The way you're starting to see this play out, though, is going to be probably very detrimental for Trump and a lot of his friends, because what he doesn't seem to have thought through is that the U.S. is right now is basically the economy is propped up by an AI bubble / Ponzi scheme, which is mostly supported by financing from the Gulf. You're already seeing, and I say this with regret because I know that Barry Weiss is a friend of the show and a previous guest host here.
The closest.
Her attempt to take over CNN and Warner Brothers and the rest of these is backed by billions of dollars from the Gulf. They are now saying that they might not have the money or, frankly, the interest in going forward with that takeover. So this
You're talking
entire
about the
project
Ellison
that they
deal. The Ellison family that owns TikTok, that owns CNN, that is Paramount, CBS, are now buying Warner Brothers, which the Trump administration kind of got involved in that deal because Netflix was going to buy them. Now the Ellison family, and they're, Larry Ellison is no secret, is I think the largest donor to the IDF. He's incredibly ideologically driven, not just profit driven. Who the hell wants to own CBS News? Really, it's not exactly. That's not the future of news, CBS News. But he is ideologically driven, and you're saying some of the financing for this deal to buy Warner Brothers, which would give also him control of CNN, is from the Gulf, like sovereign wealth funds and investment funds in the Gulf.
A decisive
and they're not interested anymore.
A decisive portion of the financing.
You know what the real war is, folks? Your financial well-being. And that's why you need Stash. You don't need to overhaul your life to start investing. Just automate it. With Stash, your new year money goals can quietly run in the background while you focus on everything else. Stash isn't just another investing app. It's a registered investment advisor that combines automated investing with expert personalized guidance so you don't have to worry about gambling or figuring it out on your own. Stash is simple, smart, safe, stress-free. Choose from personalized investments. Let Stash's award-winning smart portfolio do the work for you, or pick a combo of both. Stash is there to guide you every step of the way. Don't let your money sit around. Put it to work with Stash. Go to get.stash.com/Tim to see how you can receive $25 toward your first stock purchase and to view important disclosures. That's get.stash.com/TIM. Get.stash.com/TIM. Paid non-client endorsement, not a guarantee or representative of all clients. Smart portfolios are discretionary managed accounts and subject to additional fees. See the advisory agreement and deposit account agreement for details. Investment advisory services offered by Stash Investments LLC and SEC. Registered investment advisor. Investing involves risk. Is it in any part in Israel's calculation, and this is for both of you guys, that this war would not only hopefully topple the leadership in Iran, but also serve to either weaken or outright sever the connection between a country like Qatar and America or the Gulf states? Does Israel see that as a positive? I know that, a lot of, people that promote ultra-Zionist ideas in this country are constantly accusing Qatar of running the country. The Free Press wrote an article about all the money that Qatar has put into things like higher education. I'm sure Qatar puts money into things, but the idea that Qatar is now incredibly skeptical of things the United States says and may not be able to trust us, is that something that Israel's excited about? Is that a good thing? And is that part of the calculation here?
Yeah, I mean, go ahead, Jeremy.
Just, Ryan, to mention one concrete thing, because we seldom hear kind of the Iranian government perspective these days. It's really just kind of the Trump show, and because there's been this multi-decade campaign about Iran, it's very hard to actually, on just a basic factual level, say, well, what is their actual position? What Iran has been saying, Tim, about some of the retaliatory strikes that it's done over the past week is that they didn't do them. They're saying, for instance, that they have not attacked Saudi Aramco's oil refinery. They're saying that they did not strike the British military base in Cyprus. And in fact, the British government is saying they don't believe that the drone that hit that base and destroyed a base where American spy planes come from, that it came from Iran. They're saying it may have come from the direction of Lebanon, which is an interesting thing. The Iranians are saying that some of the hotels and other buildings they hit in Bahrain or in the United Arab Emirates were housing Israeli spies or American personnel. But why am I bringing this up? I'm bringing it up because what the Iranians are saying, and take it at face value, it should be fact-checked, we should look into it. What they're saying is that they believe Israel has engaged in some false flag attacks in some of these Arab countries, or potentially in Azerbaijan, in an attempt to try to draw those nations into the war as actual combatants in it. And Netanyahu is sort of gleefully talking about this. Trump's people are saying, oh, and even the Arabs are now going to start fighting against the Iranians. Certainly Netanyahu loves to be the merchant of chaos when it comes to disrupting U.S. relationships with other countries. Certainly he wants to see Qatar weaken. He wants to see the economies, the economic power of the United Arab Emirates and Qatar, the closeness of these countries to U.S. institutions and particularly to Trump, thrown into turmoil. He knows that the populations in those countries don't like what's going on right now. Yes, the attacks, especially when they hit hotels or they hit infrastructure, it's enraging the populations of the Arab Gulf. But on a much broader level, this is a war in service of Israel. And the populations of those countries, the anger is simmering. They understand what's happening. It's destroying their entire project was based on this idea, Tim, that the United States puts military bases in all these emirates, in all these kingdoms, and they have an American security guarantee. I don't think that in their wildest dreams, they thought that the United States was going to allow Iran to pummel them the way that they have, while pouring billions of dollars into the quote-unquote defense of Israel. So on one strategic level, and this cuts to your question, Tim, I do think that Netanyahu views opportunity in this. He wants to be the merchant of chaos to try to utterly destroy that relationship between the U.S. and these other countries because he views it as a threat. Trump is unpredictable. Trump is merging family business with the business of government. This causes some consternation for Netanyahu in his broader sort of project in Israel.
Ryan, do you think that Iran hit the Saudi Aramco facility?
They say they didn't, and they say it. So here, and their argument is this. And Jeremy interviewed the deputy foreign minister on Wednesday and asked him directly about this. And paraphrasing him, he said that would be insane because our entire economy is also based on the oil industry. Like, why? Like, you think we want to start a tit for tat where people are bombing oil fields? I frankly find that a fairly persuasive argument at this stage. I could imagine if this war continues to descend into chaos, and it continues to climb up the escalatory ladder that Iran may eventually strike an oil field, and we may strike all of their oil fields.
Do you think Lebanon?
I don't think that they.
Do you think Lebanon struck the Saudi Aramco facility?
I don't think Lebanon did it. I mean, okay. I think their claim that Israel hit this oil facility needs to be taken seriously.
So it's very possible.
Tim, one thing just for the record.
Yeah, go on, Jeremy.
Just to put a factual thing on the record. What I was told by the Iranians is not that they are against hitting oil facilities. What they're saying is, we will only do that if the United States and Israel start to attack our oil infrastructure. We're going to strike back at their oil infrastructure because we don't view it as simply the sovereign property of these Arab countries. We view it as facilitating and linked to the American project. But they're saying, as of now, that they never intentionally did
I'm just trying to get this straight. Our ally, our closest ally, who told us that they were launching a war, a regime change war in Iran with our weapons and our money, also very potentially has attacked the oil, the Saudi Aramco processing facility in another one of our allies, Saudi Arabia, and also kind of one of their allies. Israel and Saudi Arabia have like sort of an understanding, right? So
this is what the Iranians are suggesting, and I'm not saying I fully believe it. You know, it could be that they accidentally hit some of these things. It could be that they did do it and they're trying to cover it up. Although Iran, you know, I think that wouldn't really be to their advantage. It's possible that they did it, but the Saudis claim that it was debris from a drone that they shot down. But let's say we should just take this seriously and investigate it, because if it is the case, and evidence emerges,
the Saudis are saying it's debris. The Saudis are saying it's debris from a drone they shot down.
That was the initial statement by the Saudi. First, it was Iran bombed Saudi Aramco. Then a Saudi defense official came out and said this was actually debris that fell from a drone that we had intercepted. The Saudis and the Iranians have had an interesting diplomatic back and forth on this. The Saudis are not as aggressive right now in going after the Iranians as, for instance, the Azerbaijani government is.
Right.
And really, sort of saying that Iran did this. The Iranians are denying that as well. So all of which is just to say we should never just take at face value the proclamations of the Iranian government.
Right.
But if you think about it on a common sense level, it doesn't benefit Iran to further enrage the populations of these countries, because they already are very nervous about what's happening. So who benefits from this, Tim? Who benefits is Israel, from the idea that Iran is this kind of madman, this mad dog loose, and they're just biting everyone. They're biting all their neighbors. They're biting the people who they've been in this rapprochement with for 2 years. It doesn't make sense. So that's why you have to pursue it and say, is there any legitimacy to what the Iranians are alleging?
So now a friend of mine who's kind of deeply connected in that part of the world, Sheikh Carlson, has reported on his show, Sheikh Tucker, has reported on his show that in the UAE, 2 Mossad agents were arrested for potentially trying to start false flag attacks. I don't know if you guys saw that, but it did go pretty big in terms of news. I don't know if you've looked into that.
He said it was in Qatar and Saudi Arabia.
Right. So is there anything that you guys can add to that? Is that verifiable in any way? I mean, he is, here's what I will say about Tucker. He's deeply connected in those parts of the world. I think that, that's quite obvious, and goes there and talks to a lot of people there, and I don't think he would come out and make that up.
So what I can add to that is they both, Qatar and KSA Saudi Arabia have denied that this has happened.
Okay.
We had a drop site had a source with Saudi Arabia that denied to us that it happened. Qatari sources have been a little cagier when it comes to confirming or denying that off the record. On the record, they're denying it. Also, it's the kind of thing that you wouldn't necessarily talk about if it did happen.
Right.
It could also have been made up by somebody who told it to Tucker.
Sure.
Like they're trying to sow Like, it may have been a very credible source that told it to Tucker, but that credible source was just trying to sow misinformation, disinformation, chaos.
Yeah.
Moments like this, 90% of what you hear turns out to be proven incorrect. A year later. So we're in the heat at that moment where there's going to be a lot flying around. But it's. So I don't know. That's about what I can add to that.
What are they now that Jeremy had said?
Another thing that needs to continue to be investigated.
Saudi Arabia is not, if for example, if Saudi Arabia genuinely believed that Saudi Aramco was targeted by Iran, I would imagine there'd be a massive retaliation from Saudi Arabia. Have you seen that?
I think that's an important.
You haven't seen that,
no,
right?
I think that's an Tim, I think that's an important insight that does go to what Saudi Arabia believes. Because I think you're right. If Saudi Arabia genuinely believed that Iran had hit it, they would be reacting in a different way.
Well, 100%.
I mean, also, what on the Tucker Carlson issue, Tim, I know that I was in Doha for the Doha Forum when Tucker Carlson, appeared there, and it was like. It was like Michael Jackson appearing at the height of his fame somewhere. He is a massive figure there. Yeah. He's purchased property there.
Right.
And Tucker Carlson, he is globally famous right now.
Yeah.
And deeply connected. He meets with the the epicenters of power in the Gulf right now. There's no question about that. So I don't believe Tucker Carlson just made this up. It's possible what Ryan said. Somebody mentioned something to him. Maybe it was sort of like floating something. But let's remember that Israel has a decades-long history of engaging in all sorts of covert operations, in false flag operations, in assassinations, in bombings that they then try to blame on other groups. There's a long history of Israel doing false flag bombings in Lebanon and elsewhere. So again, it's in the category of we need to pursue it, we need to look into it. But the idea that there's Mossad agents running around these countries is not at all a shocker or a surprise. It would be surprising if they weren't doing these things. The question is, were their agents arrested and it's being covered up, or was this floated to Tucker because they wanted to achieve some purpose that we don't quite understand right now? I don't know. Yeah. But Israel has a long history of doing this stuff.
Right. And also, if they did arrest agents, they would not imagine what it would take for them to say that publicly. For allies of the United States, Saudi Arabia and Qatar, to say publicly, yes, this is true. We arrested these Mossad agents. That would be a significant diplomatic kind of breach. So the diplomatic thing to do is to deny it. So the denials are worth reporting, but it doesn't necessarily tell you a whole lot.
When you look at the time,
Tim, can I tell you one
yes,
brief?
Go ahead. Yes, go ahead. Go. Tell me.
No, I just wanted to tell you one story about Israel. In the 1990s, the head of Hamas was a guy named Khalid Mashal, and he was based in Jordan at the time. And he comes out. He's driving his kids to work and then to school, and he gets out of the car with his bodyguards. And these two guys posing as tourists come up and they spray something in his ear, and it was a poison, and it sends Khalid Mashal into a coma. And then there was a pursuit, and his bodyguards and Jordanian police end up tackling and getting the guys, and it turns out that they were Mossad agents. The king of Jordan then, and this is a public story, people can read about this, there's been documentaries made about it. The king of Jordan then says, we're going to cancel our treaty with Israel, and we're going to execute these agents if Netanyahu, he was prime minister at the time in the 90s, if Netanyahu doesn't give us the antidote to resurrect Khalid Mashal. The head of Mossad gets on a plane from Israel, flies to Jordan to deliver the antidote to save Khalid Mashal's life. And Khalid Mashal is still alive to this day. I just interviewed him, a couple of months ago. But the nature of what Israel is able to do, that's one of the most sort of famous known episodes. Israel has deep penetration throughout the Arab world, and there are many cases where they conduct operations and
but
they get
not
caught
here in America.
Where the world never
no
actually hears about it.
penetration here, and that's what I'm proud of. These other countries fell for it, but us, we didn't. And how easy would it have been for us to fall for it? So many men in our country are suffering with erectile dysfunction, and here's the way to fix that. HIMSS. Through HIMSS, you can access personalized treatment for ED if prescribed. HIMSS offers ED treatment options, raising for I don't know what percentage of a role it is um, controlling politicians through things like blackmail or coercion of some degree. Obviously, AIPAC spends a lot of money. But then we have these files come out that show that Jeffrey Epstein is in contact with a lot of very highly placed people in governments all over the world. But the ex-prime minister of Israel's living at his house. It comes out that I believe the Israeli government, this was reported, put a security system in Jeffrey Epstein's New York townhouse. This is true. This is not a conspiracy. That townhouse is being frequented by some of the wealthiest, most powerful, and most influential people in our society. As well, the man has an island and a ranch in the middle of nowhere in New Mexico. This man is a pedophile, is a human trafficker. He's clearly, when you look at these documents, arranging these parties and events where very powerful people are going. From your reporting, in a very sober-minded way, does that type of control system, is that something you think Israel has employed or is employing in any way to sort of get certain results from certain politicians?
I mean, the Israelis have a history of doing that sort of thing for sure. The link to Epstein in this case, to me, may be the way that it influenced Trump to try to change the subject.
Right.
He tried I think the Venezuelan operation was an attempt to kind of turn the page on that and get it off, but that lasted like 12 hours, and the public was back to, okay, that's interesting. Let's look through some more of these Epstein files. So I do wonder, absent the Epstein scandal itself, whether Trump has the kind of motivation to carry through with this. It has its own logic and motivation to it. Netanyahu said the other day that this is something he's been yearning for 40 years. And they have been working towards pressuring the United States into it since then. And so, like, that alone, has an enormous kind of gravitational pull to it. But I think Trump's going to be sorely disappointed, because I think when the war ends, if the war ends with us still alive on this planet, we're going right back to those files, Guy. Like, we haven't forgotten about this.
Jeremy, can you speak to that? And then, Jeremy, also adding to that, from your understanding of someone like Jeffrey Epstein.
Ow!
Now, I'm not accusing Jared Kushner of being a trafficker, obviously. When you look at what Jeffrey Epstein was doing, and you look at what Jared Kushner was doing, sort of being whatever you want to call it, right? Like a rainmaker, putting all these people at the table, trying to arrange scenarios to get certain results, working sort of with government, but also outside of government. Would it be completely crazy to say that Jared Kushner is working in an Epstein-like fashion to maintain certain relationships and to build other relationships and to increase the likelihood that certain outcomes happen on a global chessboard? Do you see Kushner as a figure like that, or am I overstating it?
I think one of the biggest scandals is what's hidden in plain sight. I think that, a story like the Epstein files and Jeffrey Epstein's relationships with all of these ultra powerful people, and, Ryan has done more reporting than anyone on the Israel connection on this. It captures the imagination, but part of why it's so damning is that it's indicative of something that isn't even a secret conspiracy. That what's hidden in plain sight is that the reason that we're at war against Iran right now is because of the way that the US political system is arranged. It's because of the sameness of policy that exists among the elites of the Democratic Party and the kind of most vicious elements of the Republican Party. This is an enormous indicator